All right. What's going on, everyone? Aaron here, Clean Cuts Lawn Care. It's Monday morning. I'm heading to some cleanups. Been making new videos. Listen, I still have a bunch of mowing videos I'm going to put out, but I'm going to put them out sporadically over the winter, just to have some new mowing videos, even though we're in other services now. I have started fall services. I've been recording. So I'll have some of those coming up, and I'll put some of those out soon. But I wanted to do this video too. What are the benefits and the drawbacks, the negative aspects of owning your own business? So maybe we'll do like one and one, and then we'll see, well, I think one positive is you get to, in some way, control your income. When you have a job, they tell you, I'm paying you this much per hour, or this much per day, or this much per week, or a salary, right? This is how much we're paying you per year, broken down into weekly or bi-weekly paychecks, whatever. They control it. And then you, if you want more money, you have to go to them and talk to them. But you also have to prove to them you're worth more money, which is fair. I mean, completely fair, And I know a lot of people complain about their income, and a lot of people will say, well, go get a different job, okay? It's not always that easy, you understand? Even if there's a different job in the same field and you make the switch. Listen, 90% of Americans are one paycheck away from being homeless. You understand? So it's not easy just to go and say, I'm leaving this job, I'm going to go get another job. Not for everyone. It's different if there's multiple incomes in the home and things like that. And even then, it's not going to be easy, right? It's very easy to get stuck at a job. It's very easy to get stuck at a job, which is what they want. They want you there. I remember one time, back when I worked for a trucking company, after my parents lost their company, there was this old guy, Pat, who worked on the dock there for shipping. They might have done receiving there as well for that plant, shipping and receiving. Man, he was old. He should have been retired. He should have been retired twice. And I remember his truck just was always breaking down, right? Listen, if you think truck 51 is beat up, this thing's a straight up Cadillac off the lot compared to this guy's truck he had. So one day, because I used to drive a truck, that box truck. We were sitting there all day, and anytime they had something going out or something they needed picked up, brought in, one of the two of us would be dispatched to go do that. So one day I get there in my truck and I see a brand new pickup truck, and Pat was standing next to it with the owner. I'm sorry, he wasn't the owner. This guy was like right below the owner. He ran everything for the guy. So he wasn't the owner, but he was the big boss, right? And because that big boss also owned his own snow removal business, so he had a lot of trucks and plows. So they're looking at Pat's new truck. It was Pat's truck. He just bought it the day before, or that weekend. It might have been a Monday. Really nice truck. Not like a commercial truck, but just a real nice truck, brand new. And like I said, Pat was old, man. And the guy looks at him and goes, I'm happy you bought this truck, Pat. Now I know you're stuck with me for at least another 5 years. Or you're stuck here. And he meant it too. It wasn't like a joke. I mean, he meant it. And you could see it kind of deflated Pat's excitement. I felt really bad for him, And I was like, man, piece of shit. You know, you couldn't just be happy for the guy, you know, pat him on the back, congratulations, you earned it, you work hard every day, nothing, even though you're 80 something years. He was legitimately probably 70 something, 72-ish, health problems, you know. So what a shitty thing to say, you know. So yeah, you know, they control your pay, and it's not going to be easy to get more money out of them. So owning a business, though, it's not like you can snap your fingers and more work show up. Okay, I know a lot of people think it is that easy. It's really not. Okay, you have to advertise, take the phone calls, go out on estimates, or at least do them. Sometimes maybe you can do them. Like any new snow removal that comes in, I can do the estimate right from Google Earth. I hate doing. I wish I could do them for lawns that way. I just don't trust it because I've been wrong before using Google Earth. But anyway, you can always advertise more, take on more work, raise your prices, and make more money. So that's a positive, right? Compared to its counterpart of working for somewhere. Another positive, and then the counterpart of it would be you can't be fired. You can have a customer cancel service on you, multiple people even, and you're going to cancel people's service. I do it all the time, as you guys know, I've always said I actually get a kick out of it, because by the time it gets to the point where I'm going to cancel you, either one of two things: I've already dealt with enough of your bullshit that I don't care about the money. I want you gone off my schedule. So that's why I say, to me, I enjoy it by the time it gets that way. Or you're someone new and you have shown me without a doubt that you're not someone I want to deal with. So either way, I enjoy it. But no one can fire you, right? Who's going to fire you? You own the business, right? The only way you could technically lose your whole business, well, of course you could, you know, go bankrupt and things like that. But as long as something like that don't happen, or as long as you don't go out and commit a serious crime and get arrested and go to jail, you have your business, right? You can always operate it. Again, counterpart of that is you can be fired from a job at any time. You could be laid off, you could be fired. They're not always the same thing. You might only be laid off for a certain amount of time and have to collect unemployment, but you could get fired and still have to collect unemployment, or you can be denied for unemployment. You never know. Jobs can, like Ohio, where I live, it's like a no-cause state or whatever. They don't need any reason. You can walk into work on a Friday and be fired for nothing. Hey, we don't need you no more. Yep, thanks for all the years of sweat you put in that we didn't appreciate. You're out. It's that easy. I'll tell you a job. It was the last time I ever was fired. Really, it might have been the only time. Was I ever fired? Well, I was fired this time for sure. I don't know if I was ever really fired from anywhere else. I think it was, you know, like an even type thing. But this place I was for sure fired. And I'll tell you why. It was a place where I worked on a line doing assembly. And it wasn't a bad place, but the money sucked. But like, they paid 100% of your medical, like matching retirement up to a certain amount. But the money sucked, you know. I guess, and like even the people who had been there a long time, they weren't really making any money either, you know. So, but anyway, so I'm standing on the line working, and there was this girl next to me, you work a different station every day. You're on the same line, but you're constantly being moved day to day. So you're always next to someone different. And so there's a girl next to me, and I didn't like her, but I never talked to her, but I just didn't like her and her attitude, So she's standing next to me working, and here, let's just get this out of the way. When I see people on YouTube and they're talking about someone pooping, I hate that. I hate that. Okay? I have a disgusting vocabulary, okay? But certain things like that, I hate it. I don't like it. Always talking about farting, or I don't like that shit, okay? And I would never fart in front of someone, ever. I've never been like that. My wife, but that's it. Okay, I'm talking about in public or whatever. So, this girl's standing next to me and she farts, and it's fucking disgusting. Loud, like a long fart. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I look at her, and she goes, my stomach ain't about to hurt for nobody. That's exactly what she said to me. And I said, you fucking disgusting pig bitch. And that's what I got fired for calling her that. You fucking disgusting pig bitch. And I got fired. But I was right. Like, why would you do that? Why can't you excuse yourself for a second, walk 10 feet, 20 feet away where no one is, and do it in a respectful manner? Everyone has to do it, okay? It's how our body works. Why can't you do it in a respectful manner and have some class? That's why I said I would never do that in front of someone. I would do my absolute best to make sure that did not happen. So, yeah, at a job you can be fired. They control your income. Now, is everything positive? Nope, absolutely not. You're gonna deal let's say you have a bunch of employees, right? You're dealing with employees and their problems. You have equipment and vehicles, whatever. That's all gonna break down. That's not even a question. You're constantly dealing with that. Customer issues, nonstop. That's all the time. You're never gonna get away from that. So no, it's not all positive. You're going to constantly have negative. People are going to cancel on you. You might have people paying you late, or people trying not to pay you at all. You might have to take someone to court. An employee might try to sue you for something. Say they got hurt. Listen, when my parents owned a trucking company, I owned a part of it, small part. I say that, but just so you guys are aware, I owned a very small part. I owned 10% of the whole company, and then the accounts that I brought in and managed, those I owned half of. But the company as a whole, I only owned 10% of them, or of it. I'm sorry. But this is back in a time where you were allowed to have people on 1099, and the government really didn't differentiate employee, independent contractor. They didn't look at it as hard. Now, I know people that are paying people by 1099. You cannot do that. If they're using your equipment, your truck, showing up when you want them to, doing the jobs you're telling them to, and how you want it done, you cannot pay someone a 1099. You're going to get caught. But back then, you could. It was normal. Well, we had a guy work for us for like a month. It was one of my mom's best friend's son. Dale seems right. I didn't know the kid. I had never, because her best friend hadn't really raised this kid. The dad did. I didn't know the kid. So anyway, worked for us for like a month. he quits one day, and like a few weeks later, we get a call from a lawyer. No. They get a letter about a lawsuit, basically. And then they get a call from a lawyer, but letting them know what's happening and everything. And my mom goes, I don't know what he's trying to sue me for. He didn't work for me. And the lawyer's like, well, what do you mean? He has you paid him, he worked for you. She said, yeah, well, I paid him, but as a contractor, 1099 subcontractor. So he was in the office at the time, and the lawyer goes, did they ever take taxes out of your paycheck? He goes, well, no, I got paid as a contractor. And even, like I said, now a lawyer would eat that up. Back then, it was so normal that the lawyer just goes, you can't sue them. And that was it. I mean, he told him right in the eye, he goes, you can't sue them. You're a contractor then. And that was the end of it. But when you have regular employees, things are going to happen and you could be sued. So these are little things. There's 100 more things I could talk about. But these are some of the ones that come to mind right away. So, all right, I'm going to get started on this first job. I'll show you. Here's the front yard. And then the backyard has like all them trees back there. Thankfully, all the leaves go over that hill over there. You guys have seen this yard a million times. But the cleanup sucks. It does suck. So, all right, guys, if you like the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. In the comment, put one negative and one positive of owning your business. Let me know everything I'm doing wrong, and keep them edges clean, boys. I'm out.